Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to another Manchester United live stream. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the Manchester United transfer news that has been hitting us over the last 48 hours or so, coming up to the big deadline on Thursday at 5 PM. We're going to be looking at every single bit of transfer news and potential transfer stories which could be leading up to this 5 PM deadline, and the potential transfers that we might be looking to get over the line at 5 PM. So yeah, if you guys want to, get involved in the live chat, please do feel free to do so. And also, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are new. But yes, if you have just started watching, welcome. Thanks for joining the video. As I said, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome, Red Army MUFC. Welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. But obviously, as the thumbnail suggests, the first story I want to talk about is Jerome Boateng to Manchester United. Now, if you guys are watching last night's stream, I had to take it down because it just went all laggy and it, so I've self-destructed itself, so I do apologise about that. But, I'm going to talk about Jerome Boateng and give my thoughts on him again. Now, obviously, you guys probably know by now, Man United have apparently offered £25 million for Boateng, but that is half of what Bayern Munich wants for Boateng. Bayern Munich are looking for more like 50 million for Boateng. So ultimately, it doesn't look like a deal is going to happen for Jerome Boateng. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about Boateng in the comments. Welcome, Billy T. Welcome back, mate. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you joining the streams, mate. Thank you very much. Red Army MUFC says he should go to PSG instead. Yeah, maybe he might suit PSG. Obviously, they've got a decent squad. They're making a few decent signings. Brought in Buffon, so they are strengthening, and maybe bringing in Boateng, he would definitely suit PSG a bit more. And yeah, injury prone is one of the things I was going to mention about Boateng. Obviously, he's not, with defenders, Jose Mourinho, and just in general, people need and want consistency from our backline. And if you bring in a defender who is really, really injury prone, then it ruins the consistency. Because if Boateng, if we brought him in and then he got injured, 5, 6, 7 games into the season, and he was out for the next few months, we could lose points in that period. And it's happened to United sides before where, we've seen the likes of Pogba, Bailly, Lukaku get injured, and, we've dropped points. We haven't played well. So you need your best players and your best players to be consistent throughout the season, and they can only be consistent if they keep themselves fit. So that is going to be a bit of a worry with Boateng. And to be honest with you, I don't think a deal for Boateng is going to happen. I just don't think a deal's close enough if you believe the fact that we're offering 25 million and Bayern Munich are wanting 50. That's such a big gap between the two offers that I don't think we're going to come to an agreement. Red Army FC says, yes, good bid, nothing special about a player that only plays less than half a season. Yeah, I mean, that is true, exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, £50 million for a centre-back, is that a bit steep? I think it is, especially for Jerome Boateng. But obviously, Bayern Munich, know how much money we have and want to squeeze every single penny out of us. So, that's always going to happen. That's obvious. Billy T says, I don't think we'll sign anyone else. Well, I mean, you could be right. You could be absolutely right, Billy, and I wouldn't be surprised. But to be honest with you, I do think we are going to sign someone. I feel like it will. I think we're going to sign someone on deadline day. I think we're going to get a deal over the line on deadline day, and I'll be there every step of the way. I will be doing a deadline day stream on Thursday to track any potential Manchester United transfer news. So if you guys want to join me on that, please do feel free to hit that notification button. But yeah, I think we will sign at least one more player, and I reckon it will be a centre back, either Alderweireld, Boateng, or indeed Harry Maguire as well. So yeah, I think it will be one of them, or it could be another player, which I will mention in a bit. Red Army FC says, why are clubs thinking we're stupid that Pogba bid, and now reports of 50 million for Boateng? Get lost, Bayern. Yeah, exactly. Get lost. I mean, that's another thing. That's one of the other big kind of major transfer stories. Reports are claiming that we rejected a bid from Barcelona of £50 million, Andre Gomez and Yerry Mina for our own Paul Pogba. Now, I'm so glad that we did reject that bid, because That is utterly ridiculous. It's a joke almost. It really is a joke. I mean, Paul Pogba, leaving United, one of our best players, one of the best midfielders in the world, giving us 50 million. And Andre Gomez, who, there's a reason why he doesn't get game time at Barcelona, and there's a reason no other big clubs have been in for him. It's because he's not good enough. And then Yerry Mina, yes, obviously he has been a target of ours, or if you believe the papers, he definitely has been a target of ours. But I don't think Yerry Mina, is really our standard. I think potentially, if he came to United, I would definitely support him, and I think he might be able to do all right. But I think Yerry Mina, out of all the centre-back options we've been linked to, I think he would definitely be the biggest risk. So I'm happy that we don't seem to be, looking to bring him in. But you never know, on deadline day, crazy things can happen. But I do think that tomorrow we are going to make a big transfer breakthrough. There's going to be some sort of big transfer news tomorrow, and that's what I'm predicting. Renami MC says, "Fuck these clubs with their insulting bids." Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what it is. Obviously they see Man United and think, you know what, we can absolutely fuck these guys over, and we can, try and get as much money for them, for their players as possible, and make them pay as much money for our players. It's ridiculous, but that's what you get with being one of the best and biggest clubs in the world. Welcome, Crazy Pizza Gaming. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, guys, please leave a like. I really appreciate that. Renami MC says, these centre-backs we're linked to aren't good, in my opinion. Yeah, I think, for me, Alderweireld, I think, would be the only one which I'd be really, really satisfied with if we were to bring in Alderweireld. I think, you guys have talked a lot about him on streams in the past. I think Alderweireld's got the experience. He's got the, for me, he's got a lot of talent. He's in the prime of his career at the moment. He's been part of a very consistent Spurs backline and knows what it means to play in the Premier League. So for me, that is really, really important. Also the fact that, Spurs, due to, where he is with his Spurs contract, Spurs want to sell him, and so the price we'd have to pay for Alderweireld would not be too much. So I think, to be honest, if Alderweireld was to, join, I think he'd be the best option for me to bring in. But as I said, you guys can have your say on that in the live chat. Creasy with the Game says there was a fire in Sheraton 5 minutes ago. Well, I hope the people in that surrounding area are okay. I don't know where that is, but if you are there, please stay safe. Billy T says Woodward was given a list 7 months ago and failed to sign Jose's top targets. Yeah, I mean that is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, if you give someone whose job it is to kind of recruit players a list of players, and you don't actually get any of the players that you asked for, you've got to start asking questions. Really, you have to start asking questions. And I think Jose Mourinho, if we go by the comments he's made in recent press conferences, is definitely starting to ask questions of Ed Woodward, and I think a lot of United fans are doing the same. Crazy View the Game said Dele Alli only wants to go to Bayern Munich. Well, I mean, it'd be a very interesting move if Dele Alli was to go to Bayern Munich. I think he's probably going to stay with Spurs. And to be honest, I don't see why Bayern Munich would want. Bayern Munich would want Dele Alli. I think, yes, he's a decent, player, but notoriously, English or even British players don't do fantastically well when they go abroad. So I'm not sure if it'd be a huge risk for Bayern to buy Dele Alli, but who knows? Maybe it'd be a good career move for him. But yeah, so obviously we've talked about Boateng, we've talked about the few centre-back options. I will go back and touch on them in a bit. Obviously, Red Army MUFC has just mentioned it there, right on cue. Ivan Perisic. Now, this is a deal which has been in the news recently. Inter Milan are looking at a potential swap deal with Manchester United, or the other way around, I'm not sure. But a potential swap deal for Manchester United for Ivan Perisic with Juan Mata, and potentially a bit of cash attached to that as well. So the news is, or the rumours are, that Juan Mata going the other way to Inter, and we bringing in Ivan Perisic, and potentially us, shipping across, maybe 10-20 million pounds along with it. So obviously Perisic has been a long-term target of Manchester United, and we were chasing him in the last summer transfer window. If you guys don't know already, when I first started this channel, when I made my first video on this channel, my first video was actually about Ivan Perisic. So, this is my second summer transfer window on this channel. So, ultimately, Perisic has been someone which United have been reportedly chasing, the whole time. So, obviously, it does seem plausible that we might be chasing Perisic. Now, Juan Mata going the other way. Mourinho does seem to like to play Mata a lot, so I think you probably get, around the same amount of game time at Inter Milan. He wouldn't really, improve on his game time. But for me, I think this is a very interesting deal. Obviously, for me, I think Perisic is a very, very exciting talent. He's a bit different to Mata in the fact that, Mata is probably more technically gifted, but Perisic is, a lot quicker, and he's a lot more, he's very good at penetrating and really, putting in a decent cross. So I think for me, Perisic is, he's someone who, you'd want to see, you would not want to line up against you, because, especially if you're a fullback, the pace that he runs at you, and he's not averse to trying a few skills as well. And I think the problem with Mata is a lot of United fans think he kind of slows down the play, but with Perisic you wouldn't get that. You'd get quick play, bombing down the wings, and he's got a fantastic delivery on him as well. So whether this Perisic deal goes through, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think it would be plausible if we got him, to be honest, because we have notably been chasing Perisic since the end of the summer transfer window last season. So yeah, welcome Rodney Cyrus from the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the stream. If you guys want to go check out his channel, he's done some fantastic content and discussions on his channel. So go and check out Rodney's channel. I really would recommend it. Red Army MUFC says, so what's up with Perisic? Obviously, I just told you there. Red Army MUFC says he prefers Mata. Well, I mean, the thing is with Mata is he's a very, very good player. Yeah, if you want to keep possession, keep control of the game. And I think in some cases he can be the perfect player. We've seen the quality he has. We've seen the kind of the power he possesses to just produce a moment of quality. We've seen it down the years. Obviously, what happened at Anfield a few seasons ago. The 2 goals he scored against Leicester, which turned the game on its head. So he has that ability to, change a game with his brilliance. But unfortunately, he's not the fast-paced, penetrable winger that a lot of United fans want to see. And also, he can provide good service, but I think with Perisic, what you get is someone who is very much, putting fear into the minds of defenders and putting doubt into their minds, running at them, causing problems. And I don't think Mata's forte is causing problems for defenders that much. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe Mata would be better in a kind of central attacking midfield role. I think that was where David Moyes actually, brought in Juan Mata. I mean, remember the days of David Moyes? I'm trying to forget them. But, David Moyes actually did something good there with bringing in Juan Mata. He's had a fantastic career at United. But maybe the best thing for him would be to play in a kind of central role, possibly central attacking midfield role. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. Ronnie says Mata is good, but you won't win the league with him. But he isn't the only one. Yeah, fair point. I think, obviously, Mata, he has a lot of quality. We've seen the quality he possesses, but if you look at the competition he has in terms of wingers, because Mata recently has been played as a winger, and if we go by what's been happening on pre-season, it does look like he's going to be playing out on the wing somewhere. So I think if you look at his competition, if you look at the people, in our rivals teams who are, we've got the likes of Leroy Sané, Bernardo Silva as well for Man City, Sadio Mane, all of these teams have fast wingers who cause teams problems. Hazard for Chelsea, although who knows how long Hazard's going to be at Chelsea for. But that's for a Chelsea channel to discuss. But yeah, no, I think, if you look at our rivals' wingers, they're all very quick, they're all very direct. Willian, obviously being linked with United, is another, transfer saga that seems to be going on, although I'm not sure whether that's died down now with the comments that he's come out with saying he's happy at Chelsea. But obviously he's made recent comments, if you guys haven't seen this, saying that him and Jose Mourinho, send WhatsApp messages and whatever, and they keep in contact, and Jose Mourinho seems to want to tell his agent to bring him to the club. So with that in mind, if that is all true, it does look like a potential deal for Willian. If it's not going to happen in this summer transfer window, we could definitely see it potentially happening down the line. If, of course, Mourinho is still in a job at United by the January transfer window. But that is a whole different matter entirely. Rasmus, welcome to stream, pal. Thanks for joining. If you haven't already, please leave a like. I really would appreciate that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we've I know we've talked about a few transfer rumours. If you guys have got any other, transfer stories that you're interested in or want to discuss, or any other points you think, would be valid to discuss, all points are valid here. And I would really like to hear from you guys. Any of your questions, anything like that. Rasmus says you disappeared last night. Yeah, I mean, the joys of technology, I was streaming last night for around 20 minutes, and then it just went off. I think my kilobits per second rate just absolutely dropped to the floor. Like Manchester United's ratings with the press dropped to the floor, and obviously my stream just completely lagged out and completely stopped, so I really do apologise for that. Hopefully this stream won't do the same, and we can continue to do this and hopefully have a decent discussion with you guys. Billy T says, I'd rather we not make a signing than bring in Boateng. Fair point. I think there is a line between, bringing in someone because, we think there's an urgent position that we need to fill, or just bringing in a panic buy. And I think a lot of United fans, and I probably have to agree to a certain extent, Boateng would be a bit of a panic buy. Now, the amount of centre-backs we have been linked to, if we do go to Boateng, what it will look like we went in for all of our first choices and we didn't get them, which, wouldn't, it'd be a bit weird, but the fact that, United, obviously, maybe we don't have the same pulling power as we used to have, but who knows. But if we do get Boateng, I think a lot of United fans, I was watching the United stand tonight with Mark Goldridge, and he summed up, he said it'd be an absolute shambles if we got Jerome Boateng. Now, for me, I probably wouldn't go that far. I think Boateng still has some decent skills. He's still, in a decent place in his career. Yes, he's declining slightly, but I think he would be able to offer us something at the back. So I don't think it'd be an absolute shambles, but I think it would not be great and would not reflect well on Ed Woodward whatsoever. I mean, his approval rating would go even further down than it already is. I mean, if you look at the comments on Twitter from all, loads of United fans, I follow loads of United fans on Twitter, and loads of comments saying about Ed Woodward, saying about the club, sign some players, all that sort of stuff, pleading to the club to sign some players. You can tell Ed Woodward's credibility is not at a good level. So unless we really pull something out of the bag tomorrow or Thursday, it's not looking good for him. It's not looking good for him, although he's still getting paid. Don't worry about him, guys. MUFC says, I thought we needed fullbacks, not centre-backs. Yeah, obviously, since the Alexandro news came out, everyone thought, you know what, if we get Alexandro, this club is actually strengthening where we need to strengthen. And obviously, the Alexandro rumours have completely died down right now, so it doesn't look like we're going to get him whatsoever, and I think, that deal's off the table, and it doesn't look like we're going to bring in another fullback, so it looks like we're going to have to deal with Ashley Young and Valencia, Luke Shaw, and these sort of players for the rest of the season, which seem to be in Jose Mourinho's plans, if you read his comments before the start of pre-season. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we are going to bring in a fullback. It looks like we are going to bring in a centre-back if we are going to bring in someone. So, I think the centre-back we're going to bring in is probably going to be the options that I've mentioned. Welcome, Karga1994. Welcome back to the stream, buddy. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. He says, which club have had the best transfer season? Very good question. You guys can leave your thoughts on that in the live chat as well. Very good question from Karga there. For me, I hate to say it, Liverpool look like they've had a fantastic transfer window. Obviously bringing in, Keita, possibly a bid for Fekir as well. Fabinho, they have brought in some decent players to strengthen their squad. There's no doubt about it. Alisson as well, and bringing in a top-class goalkeeper like Alisson, was a pivotal move for them, because I'd always thought, looking at Liverpool, their goalkeeping situation has not been healthy ever since Pepe Reina left. So, I think Liverpool have done a fantastic move in bringing in Alisson Becker. I trust me, guys, I hate saying this. I wish I was saying this about United, but unfortunately I'm not. I also think Fulham have had an absolute banger of a transfer window. Seri, which, Seri was a player who was linked to some of the top clubs in the world. You're talking Arsenal, PSG, these types of clubs. Fulham was able to get him. Andre Schürrle, another fantastic piece of business from them. Knows the league and has done very, very well for Chelsea. So, again, two signings there. Recently signed Oh, who's that? Alfie Mawson from Swansea. He looked very, very solid as well. And a recently signed Callum Chambers. So 4 players there that Fulham have brought in, which look absolutely fantastic. As well as that, you got Wolves. Wolves have done well, bringing in the Portuguese brigade, João Moutinho, Rui Patricio. And along with the squad they've already got, they look like a force next season, I've got to say. So yeah, you guys can have your say on that. Rasmus says United does have a pulling power, but Jose is the problem. The manager plays a big part. Remember Moyes, for example. Mourinho has a good record, but his style of play is just... you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that is the thing, isn't it? I think, we saw the comments that... was it Mertens came out and said that, he doesn't want to go to United, he hates the style of play. Even players who aren't even linked to us are having a pop at Jose Mourinho's style of play. It's ridiculous. But, when United is such a televised club, everyone's watching, aren't they? And the reputation is going to spread across the... Excuse me. It's going to spread across the world, isn't it? So, yeah. I think... Ultimately, I think players are turned off by Mourinho's style of play. There's no doubt about it, especially, forward players. But I do think, if Jose Mourinho having him there, potentially could, bring in a few players. And I do think we do have somewhat of a pulling power. But I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if you guys would agree. But I do think it has diluted somewhat. Renami MUFC says, I don't get the situation wrong. If he gets injured, we riot. Yeah, exactly. If he does get injured, we really could, we really could be in trouble. Rasmus says, among the top 6 teams or in general, if in general, maybe Wolves and West Ham. Yeah, West Ham as well have done some decent business. I really do think... Felipe Anderson was a fantastic bit of business by West Ham, I've got to say. He looks like a fantastic talent. And it does look like the West Ham board, after all the protests that were going on last season, the West Ham board have actually woken up and are starting to, reinvest into West Ham. So fair play to them. And, hopefully West Ham can have a good season. Renami says Callum Chambers, Arsenal reminds me of Andre Gomez. Yeah. Yeah, mate, yeah, true. I think... obviously, I do think Callum Chambers, would be a decent addition for them, especially being a kind of a promoted club. The signings they've made, you would expect from a mid-table top 6, top 7 club. So Fulham have done fantastically in the transfer window for me. Renami FC goes on to say only knew him for a short period of time. Yeah, fair enough. But I think with this transfer window, as I said at the top of the stream, I do predict that there's gonna be some big transfer news tomorrow. I just have a feeling that as we come towards the last few days of the transfer window, obviously it closes at 5 PM, so there's less than 48 hours left of the transfer window. I do feel like there is going to be some big breaking transfer news tomorrow. I feel like we're going to make a breakthrough, probably with one of the centre-back options in Maguire, Alderweireld, Boateng or Mina. I feel like it's going to be a big breakthrough in one of those players. But a very little part of me, is thinking that potentially we could see a surprise. We could see a surprise transfer coming in. Someone who hasn't been linked to United. If we go back to the 2014-15 summer transfer window, Radamel Falcao never linked with Manchester United whatsoever, and we bring him in on deadline day. He wasn't linked to United at all, and suddenly we bring him in, and it was pretty ridiculous. But I think possibly something like that could happen again. But who knows? Man United. Hopefully, we have been planning something big to get the Man United fan base, back on the positive vibes. But I do think if you are, being negative just because we aren't signing anyone, I think you need to kind of, I don't want to say grow up a bit. I think that's a bit harsh, but you need to kind of calm down a bit, I would say. Rasmus says, talking of Arsenal, what do you think about Kroenke being about to take over 100% ownership of Arsenal? Are they going to go to the Championship in the coming years? Well, to be honest with you, Stan Kroenke really does not get a good press at Arsenal, does he? He really doesn't get a good press. No doubt about it. And I think, for Arsenal, a lot of Arsenal fans are very disappointed about it. And, the fact that Kroenke really hasn't been investing money back into Arsenal at all. So... it could be very, very, sorry, I just heard noise over there, so do apologise if I am turning my head. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be happy at all. I'm just lucky that we have got I was about to say we're lucky to have the Glazers, but to be honest with you, are we lucky? Are we really lucky? I think, under the Glazers, it's not like, we haven't had success under them, because, when they were they were still the kind of owners under Sir Alex Ferguson, we had so much success. So is it the owners that are the problem, or is it Jose Mourinho? Who knows? Red Army FC says their signing of Emery will last Arsenal for a bit. Yeah, I think Emery is a decent manager. I think they have, done very well in bringing in Emery to Arsenal, and I think they will definitely be a title contender this year. The squad they had under Arsene Wenger should have done so much better. You could just tell they weren't playing their best football under Arsene Wenger, but maybe Unai Emery can bring the best out of them, and I think Arsenal will definitely be a very, very difficult nut to crack next season, especially, with Aubameyang, the new signings they've made as well, of Lichtsteiner, Torreira as well, looks a very decent signing. So Arsenal have done well in the transfer window, and with the striking options they already have, they look decent. Red Army FC says Falcao was good at that time. Same thing for Di Maria, but they flopped. Yeah, ultimately they didn't have the best of Man United careers. But when they first came to United, there was such a buzz around the club, and we thought we would get bringing in 2 world-class talents, and really we were, but they just weren't suited to the style of play that Louis van Gaal was playing at that time. But to be honest with you, I'm still annoyed that he got sacked before his 3 years was up. I think he should have, he said he needed 3 years at the club. He wanted 3 years, and he didn't get it, which pissed me off a bit. And also, the way that we sacked him after the FA Cup final, for me, wasn't acceptable. But that's in the past. That is in the past. That is 3 seasons ago now. How time flies. How time flies. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But yeah. But, obviously, we've talked about Perisic swap deal for Mata. Also talked about, the Jerome Boateng news. Another piece of news potentially, we have talked about a bit is Willian. Now, Willian, coming to United. If you haven't watched Sky Sports, they've been doing a few, news segments on, Willian, about the fact that, he has been kind of being in contact with Jose Mourinho, saying things, and Mourinho has seemingly wanting to get in contact with, Willian's agent. Now, as I said, I do think a deal for Juan Mata will go through sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to happen in this summer transfer window, although you never know when a random transfer could break through. You never know. So, look, what I think definitely in the not too near distant future, I reckon we will get Willian. He will come to United at some point. There's no doubt about it. Whether it will be this transfer window, I don't think so. But if Jose Mourinho is still in a job at United by January, I think we will bring in Willian. But I am also, I'm also sold on the fact we are going to bring in an attacking player. Either in this transfer window or in the January transfer window. I just definitely think we are going to bring in a winger. I feel like Jose Mourinho, probably on his list, wanted a winger, but we just weren't able to bring in one, which is unfortunate, and doesn't make sense wholly. But look, what can you do, eh? What can you do, guys? But yeah, as I said, if you've got any sort of points to make, any sort of transfer news you guys want to, get involved with, let me know about in the live chat, and we can discuss it together. Please do let me know, because it's a show about you guys, and I want you guys to get your opinions across in the live chat and, leave your thoughts. Also, if you are new, we've got to the stage of the video. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel, and also feel free to subscribe to all the links in the description down below as well, because there's some fantastic Manchester United content. Red Army FC, thanks for joining me as always. Really appreciate your company on the streams. Tomorrow I will be streaming again, probably doing the season preview with the lads, so you don't want to miss that. A big collab with some of the lads, hopefully, doing the season preview. But yeah, cheers for coming, Red Army FC. Thanks for joining once again. Thank you very much for your loyal support. But obviously, we're nearly at 10 likes. We're nearly at 10 likes, guys. Anything you guys can do to help, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But look, right? I think, a lot of United fans are getting a bit restless about the transfer window. This is one of the things that I want to address in this video, because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and social media getting very, 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 very upset about the fact we haven't signed anyone, getting very angry, wanting Jose Mourinho out. And for me, I think it's a bit irrational to do that. Firstly, for me, I think Jose Mourinho's not the problem. I think he is not the reason why we're not signing anyone. I don't think we should be turning our attentions to Jose Mourinho. I think if we are going to blame anyone, I reckon we should probably blame Ed Woodward or potentially other members of the board, potentially members of our recruitment staff, who knows. But I don't think Mourinho is the answer, and I think a lot of United fans are... Their tether with Jose Mourinho, the slack that they're cutting them, is slowly depleting. Again, I was watching the United stand, saw Mark Goldbridge. He was saying the same thing. He was saying that, his kind of slack that he's giving Jose Mourinho, and a few more bad moves from Jose Mourinho, potentially selling Pogba, he would definitely be looking at saying Jose Mourinho out. And I think a lot of United fans who really supported Jose Mourinho before are getting that way. And for me, I don't think we should be too unhappy with the situation. I think the situation we're in is not the end of the world. But I just think, being Jose Mourinho out at this stage, I don't think really is right, in my opinion. Obviously, you guys have your right to your own opinion. But for me, I think Jose Mourinho is still the right man for the club. I think, we still need to give him a chance this season, and hopefully a full season as well, to just give him the best chance of winning the league. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the live chat on that. Rasmus here says, I'm disappointed that Tuanzebe didn't get a chance. Same about Fosu Mensah. He hasn't completed the loan move, I guess, but a German team was rumoured. Yeah, I mean, obviously, just quickly, I'm going to plug this. I do apologise, Rasmus. I will get to your point in just a second. I have started writing for MUFC Latest. So if you go onto my Twitter account, you can find a few of my articles there. So I have started. I do want to go into the field of journalism in the future. So I have started writing for MUFC Latest, and I wrote an article about Axel Tuanzebe, about the potential benefits of the loan move to Aston Villa. But I was very secretly disappointed about the fact he did leave, because I think he's a really, really good talent, and I think Steve Bruce has got a fantastic player in Tuanzebe, no doubt about that. And yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Rasmus. I was a bit disappointed to see him go. And obviously he brought up the Fosu Mensah news there. I didn't know too much about that. But if Fosu Mensah leaves, I think in some ways that might be a bit of a mistake. I think the form that he showed at Crystal Palace last season fully suggests to me that he's ready for, playing for Manchester United at fullback and doing a bit of a shift for us. I think he is ready for that step up. So if he was to leave on deadline day or whenever he leaves, Fosu Mensah, I think I would be a bit disappointed with that. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't leave, and hopefully we do keep him. But I think whatever club does end up getting Fosu Mensah, if he is to leave, I think we'll be very, very lucky. There's no doubt about it. But I do hope he does stay. I think he has a very good future at United. And I honestly think Fosu Mensah, loves United and wants to have a future at United as well. So hopefully we can keep him, and he can fulfill his dream as well. Also some good news, obviously seeing some of the first team squad coming back off their holidays. So you see Pogba coming back, Lukaku coming back, also Fellaini coming back. So happy days. I mean, that is the one which I'm most psyched about. But yeah, anyway, obviously Fellaini came back, and a lot of United fans wanting him to leave. Doesn't look like he's going to leave whatsoever. But looks like Fellaini's here to stay. And to be honest with you, if he's used as a bench option, I won't mind. I really won't mind about Fellaini. As I've said in previous streams, I won't mind too much if he is used as a bench option. But if he is used as a starting centre-back, starting midfielder, although with the pace he's got, he may as well be a centre-back. If he's a starting midfielder for the club, I wouldn't agree with it, to be honest. I would not agree with it whatsoever. But anyway, as I said, we are definitely looking at the transfer window is coming to nearing its completion, and I think we are probably going to be active on transfer deadline day. And as I said before, if you have got to this stage of the stream, as I said before, I will be doing a transfer deadline day stream on Thursday. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it, but I will be following all the latest Manchester United transfer news. So you guys, if you stick to my stream, will not miss any of the Manchester United transfer news on the stream. So yeah, Rasmus says, the name of the club came back to my mind. It was Hertha Berlin. Hopefully it's nothing more than a rumour though. Yeah, I do hope so. I think, possibly, obviously, he's already had experience in the Premier League. Maybe it might be good for him to get a bit of experience in the Bundesliga as well. So, you never know. But I do hope it's just a rumour, to be honest. I do hope it is just a rumour, because I think it would be decent for him to kind of be to stay at United and improve himself. So, yeah, I think hopefully he is going to stay because I think he's a talent. But to be honest, if Hertha Berlin were to go in for him, I think we probably would accept the offer, unfortunately. I think we would accept the offer because I don't think he's going to get too many first-team minutes, let's be honest. I think, he is definitely a fringe player. I don't think he's really going to get too many first-team opportunities. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. I really do hope he stays at the club. I hope he stays. But, if he doesn't stay, hopefully he has a good time at Hertha Berlin. Hopefully he can improve himself and come back to United ready and refreshed. But yeah, guys, I think we've talked about all the transfer rumours I've got to talk about for tonight. If you guys have got any more comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I really like reading your comments. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned into tonight's stream. Please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We already hit the target of 350 subscribers by the start of the season, which is great. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be doing the season preview with some of the lads. So hopefully you guys can join me for that tomorrow. But thank you very much for all your continued support today. Go and subscribe to me, and also feel free to subscribe to all the channels and the links in the description down below. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me tonight. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully, there'll be some big breaking transfer news. That's what I'm predicting. Some big breaking transfer news tomorrow regarding Manchester United. Let's see if it's going to happen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.